B8.5 A4 again. Trying to remember where I left off with this. I've been working on stage 3 stuff with the KO4. From the last video, we stopped at stage 2. We did 93, we did E85, we did a flex fuel file. The numbers were 259 and 311 on 93, and then it was 268 horsepower and 330 foot-pounds of torque on E85. So since then, I've installed the KO4 in this car, found out some things that did and didn't work, but that's done. We're done the testing now, and I'm ready to get this thing on the street. So we'll just go over what the KO4 did for us, what you might need to do to get these numbers with this A4. This particular KO4 is from Turbo Concepts. We've used those turbos before. We used the TC600 in our S3 when it was a 4-cylinder, and we used it in our Mark 7.5 Golf or GTI. So we did some testing on 93 and E85 because this is a flex fuel car. 93 got us 292 horsepower and 311 foot-pounds of torque. But interestingly, when we switched to E85, fuel system couldn't really keep up. The power was limited before we ran out of fuel. So the car actually made less power on E85. It made 278 horsepower and 307 foot-pounds of torque. And that's just because, you know, running E85, you're using like 30% more fuel than you would running pump gas. High pressure pump just couldn't keep enough pressure in the rail to safely supply the injectors. You'll be familiar with a high pressure pump upgrade. Started back in the Mark 5 generation, Mark 6, still continuing on into the Mark 7s. There is a pump upgrade for this, so I did that. It's just a piston inside the pump. It allows you to get more pressure to the high pressure rail. For those of you that don't know, I'll just show you where the high pressure pump is in this thing. This guy sitting back here. So super easy to install. Couple bolts to take this thing out. You do need a special tool that you can buy from Autotech, and then it's a piston swap. Pop it back in, and she's ready to go. It took me like maybe half an hour to upgrade this thing. If it's your first time, it may take you a little longer, but relatively inexpensive upgrade to allow you to run E85 on the KO4. Put that in, tested it again, and sure enough, it worked. E85 went up to 317 horsepower and 345 foot-pounds of torque, and that's kind of where we maxed out because of another limitation, but I'll get into that in a sec. We're able to safely run E85 on the KO4, tested it with 91, made a full flex fuel file, so we have a flex fuel 91 to E85, but with this stage 3 program that we're running, it is going to be a requirement that you upgrade that high pressure pump, just because if you want to use the flex fuel capability in this car, you have to have that with the KO4 to run E85 safely. But that'll all be put on the website when you're purchasing these packages. Now, maybe we just cut and I go into okay, put those numbers into a visual for you. This graph here is the difference between E85 on the stock fuel system and then E85 with the upgraded high pressure pump. As you can see, you know, there's gains all throughout the RPM range. The green line is stock fuel system, that's where we ran out of fuel. And then the white line is just simply with the high pressure pump upgrade. There's a lot more to be had with that high pressure pump upgrade. Yeah, there would be more to be had as well if we could run more boost, but that is another limitation with these cars, and a pretty big one. So you may be thinking, you know, fairly new car, 317 horsepower is not that much for a stage 3 upgrade. And you're right. One of the big issues with these cars is the ECU physically can't go past 2500 millibar boost. Doesn't matter how good your fueling is, whatever, it only allows the turbo to boost up to 2500 millibar. To squeeze any more power out of it without adding boost, I mean, you're relying on octane, you're relying on engine timing, ignition timing, and there's only so far you can go. Until somebody figures that out, that's kind of the limit as to where we can go with this car, unfortunately. Okay, so now the fun part. I'm gonna take you and everyone watching on a trip to the gas station. Right now, I just have a little bit of 91 left in the tank from developing the flex fuel file. Just kind of show you the perks of having flex fuel. We'll go to a flex fuel station, fill up with E85, see how it feels on 91 on the way there, put E85 in, let the ECU do its thing, and rip back on ethanol and see the physical differences on the butt dyno. The crazy thing is, I actually don't know how much fuel's in it, so.
What are we getting? The people want to know.
What's mine? I'm gonna order a coffee for Sam. That's the coffee that I'm gonna order. Hi, can I get a large coffee with 2 milk and 3 Splenda?
Dedicated to the blend.
I'm dedicated, man. I'm dedicated. right. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It'll feel faster on ethanol. This is why we made the trip. We'll fill this thing up. Not sure, once we see how much fuel goes in, we'll see how much fuel we didn't actually have in the tank. But we're putting E85 in. E85. The E85 at this pump is usually around E60, so it's not true E85. So we're not gonna make what I said we made on E85. It'll probably be a little bit less, but the ECU will figure that out, and it'll be much faster than our drive here. That's for sure. All right, so what you're seeing there is the ethanol content that the car is reading right now. You know, we filled up at an E85 pump, but like I said, the E content in those pumps is, or that pump specifically, is usually about E60. So there was a little bit of 91 left in the tank, so it's diluted. It's a little less than 60, but we've been driving it for a little bit just to get all the residual 91 out of the fuel lines and engine. So it's reading E56 now. We'll do a little pull, see how much different it feels just using our fully calibrated butt dynos. Oh, does it feel faster? It does feel faster. I mean, it's hard to tell when you're just sitting here, but the numbers don't lie. Run anything from 91 up to E85 and it runs fine, which is great.
Alrighty, now we are going to go over some of the features that we have for the 8.5. We have our anti-lag and we have our crackle. With the crackles, you got on and you got off, you got aggressive and you got non-aggressive. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the crackles off. Nothing going on. To enable crackles, you're going to use the cruise control. Hit it 3 times. And you'll see the check engine light blink. Once it blinks, crackles are on. Those are going to be our aggressive crackles. Now, if you want something a little bit more subtle, put your foot on the brake, click the set button one more time, the engine light will blink, and now you have more of an RS style crackle. So that's something if you want a little bit more of a calm tone while you're driving around town. And if you want a little bit more spice, we do have a optional anti-lag that you can select at checkout. So super simple to turn out. That's just going to be on your tune. Traction control off, put the car in dynamic mode. You're going to want to have it in drive. Foot on the brake, mash the gas, and anti-lag launch control. Now just a few disclaimers with the tune. If you are wanting the anti-lag, you do need to be catless. This is an aggressive setup. It does add launch control. You will want to be catless as this could cause damage to the factory or high flow cat. You are using the crackles. You can use those with a high flow downpipe, but they are not meant for your stock downpipe. Either catless or high flow catted downpipe options are recommended for the crackles. If you still have a high flow downpipe, we advise to not overly use the aggressive crackles as that could also cause damage.
So that's pretty much it for development on this car. Lots of options for you guys between stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 with the KO4. Add-on features, that's as far as I'm gonna go with this because we're tapped out on boost, fuel. All these tunes are gonna be available on InstaTune very, very soon. TuneZilla.com. What?
Top right, up here.
Top right.
Yeah,
oh, TuneZilla.com.
Yeah.
Watch the other videos here. Like and subscribe here.
Okay. Good.